Attorney Edre Olalia and the NUPL, they filed a case kanina against several officials of the government with the ombudsman, I understand, sir, di ba? With the ombudsman because of the red tagging incidents. Specifically, we're looking at officials of the NTF-ELCAC as well as PCOO Undersecretary Lorraine Badoy and if I understand correctly, si Oka Uson was also included. Sir, tell us, sir, first of all, in layman's terms po, what laws exactly are you looking at that they violated?
Sige. Pero good evening muna. Good evening muna, Ed. And if I may call you Luchi.
Yes, please. Yes.
Good evening,
for
sir.
having me. In layman's terms, ang final namin criminal tsaka administrative complaints against the persons that you already mentioned. Yung una, yung violation niya nung tinatawag nating domestic international humanitarian law, yung in-apply dito yung international laws of armed conflict dito sa ating local situation. That's RA 9851. Tapos ang pangalawa, yung matagal na to, Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, yung causing undue injury by evident bad faith. Tapos yung pangatlo, yung Ombudsman Act, na ang aming allegation ay nag-act in an oppressive and with evident bad faith yung mga public officials in an unfair and discriminatory manner. So basically, tatlo yung aming anchor doon sa aming complaint na tinulungan namin yung Karapatan.
Pero sir, di ba you previously filed, I don't know if it was also NUPL, pero there were charges also filed, I think in February this year and sometime, I think also last year, also because of red tagging. Did that prosper and what would make this different in terms of moving things forward?
That is correct. Yung ibang organization, ang IBON, no? Naging guest niya yata yung IBON, saka si Representative Kaloy Sarate, separately, filed their respective complaints on similar grounds. No, I'm not very sure of the exact provisions, but certainly it's also a criminal and administrative complaint against practically the same persons, General Parlade and Yusek Badoy. No, I remember yung sa Ibon, February pa, walang movement.
I think February.
February, yes.
Walang movement. Tatlong beses na or twice na sila nag-follow up. I just asked their counsel, no? Walang movement, they followed up and there's no movement. Tapos yung kay Representative Kaloy Sarate, as far as he knows, wala pa ring movement. So that is where things stand now. So yung kanina, it's the third publicly known complaint related to red tagging, no? And there will be more. I will get the cut out of the bag.
Sir, no? What makes you think that this one will be more successful? Knowing as how mukhang inupuan ang kaso na final noong February. So, anong pagkakaiba nitong final ninyo?
Isali ko na rin dyan. Meron bang precedent na successful?
Itong phenomenon kasi ng red tagging na nagsampa kami ng complaint, criminal administrative. To my knowledge, wala pang president, no? Pero meron tayong na-convict, no? Bagamat hindi red tagging, pero overall kasama yung kidnapping and serious illegal detention ng dalawang estudyante. Yung kay General Palparan. Remember, di ba, siya yung pangunahin na nagre-red tag doon ng panahon nila General Esperon, ng panahon ni President Arroyo. Yun ang context noon. Sinasabi komunista, terorista, ang sumunod na wala na yung dalawang bata. Pero direktamente, to my knowledge, ito pa lang. So kung ang tanong ni Luchi, how is this different or is it going to be successful? Ayoko kasi argue publicly, you know. We will just share with you in the interest of the public, in the name of the public interest, anong grounds namin and why we think they should be held accountable. No? Kasi mahirap naman sabihin, baka sabihin ay inu-influensya namin yung korte. Ayaw namin yun.
So anong grounds ninyo nakakaiba? Anong grounds ninyo nakakaiba dun sa unang kaso na final?
Dun sa, what are you referring to, Luchi? Yung sa Ibon or kay Kaloy?
Ngayon, hindi, yung sa inyo ngayon. Anong pagkakaiba?
Okay. Definitely, there is an abundance of evidence. Kasi public statements yung red tagging is all over the place. In Facebook, in Instagram, in posters, in fora, even in the Senate. You saw it, di ba, recently. So there's an abundance of evidence that they cannot deny. So it's just a legal question and a factual question of whether this amounts to the charges that we filed. Kasi dati-rati, dinidinay, wala kami kinalaman dyan. Yung mga poster-poster, mga tarpaulin. Eto, they cannot deny it. Kasi, bakit? Philippine News Agency yung naglalabas, di ba? Tapos National Task Force to End the Local Communist Armed Conflict ang naglalabas, spokesperson sila. So in that sense, may difference. And in another sense, for the first time to my knowledge, magagamit yung domestic law na nabanggit ko, no? Yung humanitarian law on the basis of yung hindi dinidistinguish yung armed, tsaka yung unarmed, yung civilian, tsaka yung combatant. Ano yan? Yung nga ang purpose ng laws of armed conflict, protektahan mo yung civilian na walang kinalaman, walang direktamenteng kinalaman. So in those senses, may diferensya. And we find that our complaint, which we assisted Karapatan, and soon more will be coming, ay it has a fighting chance. Of course, maraming siyempre considerations that I cannot really disclose very mayroong mga non-tangible considerations, mayroong political climate, and of course, that is something that the court or at the first level, sa level lang ng ombudsman, should determine.
There are proposals to criminalize red tagging, but let's start with a definition. Before that can be criminalized, how would you attempt to define red tagging as a potential crime per se?
Sa totoo lang, Robbie, in the dissenting opinion of Associate Justice Marvick Leone, na-define na niya yan. And ironically, it's the case of Zarate versus Executive Zarate Kaloy himself. No? He lost that case because the posters that red tagged them purportedly did not establish the nexus, the link between the author and the material. But in the dissenting opinion of Justice Leone, basically he said that it is accusing, naming, labeling individuals, civilians, by the state, as terrorists, communists, or subversives, no? So basically gano'n. Pero sa akin, para masimplihan at maintindihan ng mamayan, ano lang yan tinatagurian mo ang isang civilian na hindi armado at hindi kalahok sa armadong labanan nila, no? Labanan may gera no? Para ma-isolate mo siya, masiraan siya, at eventually yung nag-iengganyo ka ng atake, inciting to violence, at saka yung isolation na sa'yo. Labeling yan basically profiling yan without any basis. So, syempre, legally, kailangan mas may nuances yan, no? But layman's term, ano yan, tawagin ko si Robbie, si Lucci, si Ed, ay, yung mga yan, ini-interview yung consultant na NTF, siguro, may mga yan. Yan guilt by association. In fact, I would even correct that. That is guilt by misassociation. Because there is no association to start with. So, ang tingin ko, ganun dapat ang ating premise na talagang baseless yung accusation na yan. At may purpose. Kasi hindi naman bago yan, Robbie. Marcos, hanggang sa, either, kahit nung panahon, kang tawag doon, subversibo, rebelde, destabilizer, naging communist terrorist, ngayon naging terrorist. So hindi bago yan. Ang bago dyan is may effect. At talagang orchestrated. At ginagamit ang pondo natin, ang pondong bayan, di ba? Merong ahensya na ginagamit, bilyon-bilyon. Tapos ang effect niyan, hindi lang yung masisiraan ng reputasyon, trabaho, patay. Ilan na ba yung napatay? Ilan na ba yung nakasuhan? So yun ang dyan. So, sabi mo nga, merong attempts ba yung mag-criminalize, no? If you want to pursue that point, I can address that as well. Yun nga, parang na-lump na together, yung arm, underground, saka yung, sino ba nire-red tag? Hindi naman nire-red tag yung Communist Party, yung New People's Army, they're already red. Ang nire-red tag yung hindi New People's Army, kami NUPL. Is NUPL taking about ours? Diba? That's the problem. Associating or misassociating those who have chosen to work within the democratic framework, the legal, democratic, and armed framework, open, public, even dynamic and passionate as I am now. I'm sorry, but that's where the problem is, the confusion. You try to amalgamate these two things. Dapat ihiwalay yun. What's wrong with red tagging and you? It's very wrong. It's very wrong because it is hate speech. Basically, it's hate speech. Why? It incites to violence, incites to discrimination, incites to hostility, incites to discrimination, which is false. It's false. Di ba? Yan ang problem. Sabi mo, oy, di ba free speech yan? Sinabi na nila yan, di ba? Freedom of speech namin yan eh. Ito sasabihin ko sa inyo. You cannot disingenuously and cynically invoke freedom of speech to kill freedom of speech. Di ba? Absurd. Is my freedom of speech to kill your freedom of speech? That's absurd. Why? When you red tag me, you are stopping me from exercising my freedom of thought, speech, and belief. And then you say, it's my freedom to kill that right. That's stupid. It's stupid talaga. So it doesn't really add up. So mali yun. So ako, nabanggit na ni Robbie yata to, i-criminalize, no? Pero alam mo, sa totoo lang, kahit i-criminalize mo, the stats are against our favor. Dapat sa taas pa lang sabihin kaagad. Oo, sabihin kaagad. Mali yan. Sinabi ni Professor Alston, mali yan. Kailangan hindi arbitrary, kailangan may standards, kailangan transparent, kailangan talagang hiwalay yung arm sa unarmed. Yun naman lang ang nanap. Of course, maybe discussions about criminalization may be a good step, no, towards the right direction. But we'll see. But the point is, it must not be allowed to continue. Kaya nga nagsasampa kami ng kaso.